Good evening. How is everyone doing tonight? Get everything up here on my iPad. We're going to get it started. To be honest, up until about an hour ago, I forgot it was Wednesday and I had nothing planned for tonight. So I literally am flying by the seat of my pants on this one, I gotta tell you. But that's okay. That's why it's good to have a house that looks like a craft store. It works. It works. All right, here we go. Going into my live. All right. My live chat. Okay, so here we go. So I know it seems really early to be working on Halloween. It's not even 4th of July. What are you doing? Well, we have to get this ready to get on Etsy, and it's got to be on there for a couple weeks, and the algorithms got to like pick it up and all this other stuff. So there's a reason why we do it this early. Do I really enjoy doing it this early? Yeah, I really freaking do. All right. That means I get to Christmas faster. So I'm very excited. But tonight we're going to do something simple. This is not going to be a super elaborate wreath. Okay. This is going to be something that is going to focus just on mesh, ribbons, and sign. That is all this one is. Now this is going to be done on an evergreen wreath, but this is a very simple, this is a single ring evergreen wreath. So you can pick these up. This one came from Joanne. May she rest in peace. But you can get these at like Michael's. I honestly got these end of season clearance from Christmas. I think I got some for like $1.29. I mean, super, super inexpensively. But when we're done, you're not going to see any of this green, but this makes a really nice base. You can go ahead and use some of the pre-made, wreath bases and whatnot that have the wire and that have like the little extra little colored little tines in there as well. But I just like using this. But we're going to do some unconventional colors today. And no, not pink and orange, which typically are the unconventional colors that are popular now. So I guess they're becoming conventional. But we're going to be doing purple and mint green. So this sign came from Walmart. I have the sticker still on the back there. This was $9.99, okay? But I'm not going to be leaving it as one piece. I'm going to be cutting these into 3 separate signs. So how I'm going to do this is we're going to have our wreath, okay? And then we're going to have a bow, and then a sign, and then a sign, okay? So there's still going to be a little bit of a center to this wreath because a lot of people don't like it when you can't see the center on a wreath. So I figured I need to do something to make them happy too, because we are a very inclusive environment here at Sweet Aria Decor. So I want to get started with this. So I'm going to put our little sign away. We're not ready to use him yet, so I'm going to put him away right over here. Now just let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Now I could not use my clip-on microphone because I forgot to charge my phone. So my power cord is currently in my phone. All right, so I'm going to try to speak up. There's a humming that you're probably going to hear because the microphone on my phone is not great. I'll just try to talk extra loud to go over that, okay? So what I have done is I have already fluffed this up, okay? I'm going to put the ribbons aside. I'm not going to give you a sneak peek of the ribbons yet. You're going to have to look later. That's going to be for later. I like to keep some things a surprise. But we are using 3 different kinds of mesh. Now, this is an entire roll of 18-inch. This is like a lavender drift border mesh. I cut these at 18 inches a piece. This is a 10.5-inch roll. 18 piece, I think there might be 19 on here, but it's 18 inches a piece. I have some leftover extra pieces from other projects. I cut those up too. So here comes our green, right? And I think I have maybe 13 of these. Then I have a couple of black ones. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to go like, probably like purple, green, black. Something like that to kind of get kind of like a little bit of a pattern, but it doesn't have to be exact, okay? I mean, this is not a very large wreath. This wreath measures, I think this is a 16-inch wreath. This is not, if I go tine to tine, like end to end, sticking it out, it's hitting a little past 18, but I think this would be called typically like a 16-inch, okay? So we're going to fill these with what's called cruffles. A cruffle is a cross between a ruffle and a curl. Curl, ruffle. Cruffle. I like that term. Okay. I'm trying to go back to and check my chat because my chat is delayed. Michelle, hello. Linda, Irene, hello from Tucson. Hello! My friend is just moving back from Arizona, back here to the Chicagoland area, but she's in Phoenix. But I should really check on her because I think she's actually moving today. So, all right. So here we go. Now this is 18 inches. Okay, I cut this. Now when I drop it, it wants to curl in. We're going to embrace the curl, okay? I'm going to curl in a little bit from the outside, curling a little bit from up here, okay? Just 2 or 3 times in. This is going to make sure that the ends are within the curl, and it's going to keep it from fraying, okay? So then we simply just scrape our fingers up the middle, and then you have a beautiful bow tie. That's not how we're going to use it. We're going to put it right here in this wreath. I'm going to just find a spot where I've got 2 branches next to each other, all right? I'm going to stick it in there, and I just twist it right in there. Now, this one is easier to do because it's just a single ring. The same process you can do when it's a double ring, except you have to make sure that you put some in the top ring and some in the bottom ring. But this is a smaller wreath, so we're going to just do simple, just 1 ring. And it's really lightweight too. This is not very heavy at all right? So if you're going to have heavy attachments, use a double ring, not a single ring, but this isn't going to be very heavy at all. Okay, now I'm going to the metallic green, okay? Now the metallic, this frays a lot more than the other stuff, so that's why it's important to really get your ends in on this metallic mesh. And it's not as thick, it's not as stiff as the beige, or as the lavender, but that's okay. It's going to be a little bit thinner, but that's all right. Okay, so here we go. And then I can, instead of putting it side by side, you can kind of pull this over a little bit, maybe hide some of these tines, so it doesn't have to be, you know, exactly up and down. Kind of see that, where it's kind of, part of it can cross over the other part, okay? Now I'm going to put in a purple again. Here we go. I don't have a lot of the solid black. I can get more solid black if I want to, but I don't really want to cut extra. So these wreaths are great to do if you have lots of like leftover scraps, but you know, like leftover pieces of mesh from other projects. If you can get similar colors for similar style, this is great to use because this will use up all that leftover product. And then you're not stuck storing it because nobody wants to store it. All right. I'm going another purple. I'm afraid of using all of my purple and teal, and then I won't have, well, purple, teal, black. All right. I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna put an extra purple one in here, and it doesn't have to be an exact science. Okay. Here we go. All right, now I'll put in a teal, and then I'll do like a purple black. There we go. All right. So, I don't know how many of you saw my reel, but the at-home store is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is the same thing that happened to Joanne, and then it's also being taken over by the CEO of Party City. Well, how did it go for those 2 companies? Not great. So the writing may be on the wall. They missed some payments to lenders, so the writing might be on the wall for At Home Store, but they're still getting in Halloween stuff because I saw people posting down by the Texas area. There's a couple At Home stores that actually already have Halloween in. I don't think mine in Chicago is one of them, but you know I'm going to go check this weekend. Yeah. But I placed a huge order of florals because they have this Astilbe stuff that I love, so I bought a whole bunch. I'm probably gonna have to go buy more, but I'm just trying to stock up in case they go out of business. But I mean, I would imagine if they're just filing now, they're probably still gonna have enough inventory to get through Christmas, I'm hoping. So that's my sad this week. I'm so sad. All right, now I'm gonna put in, I don't know, do I even need the black? Yeah, I do. I want to put in some black. Just a couple pieces here and there, right? Just a couple pieces here and there. Here we go. I'm really excited about putting that sign together. I have been thinking about that sign since I got it last Halloween. I just ran out of time, energy, and room to make that one. Okay, so here's where we're at so far. This is what this looks like. I feel like I probably should have put another black one maybe back here. I'm gonna go put a black one over here. All right, just so I can kind of, then it'll give me an idea of what my spacing needs to be when I put the other ones in. I might only have 4 black ones in here, but I just want to make sure it doesn't look off kilter. All right, go back to live chat. I keep having to hit the button because it goes away, which is so stupid. I wish it would just stay. There we go. Lila! Hey, Lila, how's it going? How is it going, my friend? Hey, Lila, drop me a text and let me know if that situation you were talking to me about ever resolved itself. Hopefully it did. Here we go. All right. Get this in here. All right. Let's start standing my branches up a little straighter. I didn't fluff it nearly as good as I thought I did. I'm not a good fluffer. Don't look up what a fluffer is. Do not search that term on the internet. You will regret it. It'll change the kind of stuff that the internet puts up for you. It's not a safe word. Okay, it's not a safe word. Here we go. Here we go. All right, putting in another cruffle. This time it's a purple one. All right. I really like these single ring wreath forms. All right, now we are going back to some mint green again. And you can kind of see on the ends, it does fray a little more than the other stuff. So I'm afraid it frays. And I don't use a wood burning tool because I don't want to breathe that stuff in. It's very harsh on the lungs. That might get in the way then of when I vape with my legal in Illinois substance pen. All right? It's legal here. Yes. Not that I know where it went. That pen is somewhere in a purse. Which purse? I don't know. I gotta find it. It's been gone for many, many a month. Here we go. Bring another purple out. It's funny, every time I go in to look in old purses, you know the one thing I find the most in all my old purses? Shower curtain hooks. Because I use them to hang my wreaths on different, rolling racks, or if I'm going to the at-home, or if I'm going to paint a tree to move stuff out of my boutique space. But I end up with those little metal hooks. They're all over my car. That's crazy. There we go. I'm really liking this color combination. I really like it. And I wasn't too sure about it, but it's kind of working for me. It's giving yes. It's giving yes. Kind of crazy. Here we go. All right. And this is I'd say this might end up being about 6 inches thick when we're done. Okay, I'm curling this in. I'm curling in the other ends. Here we go. Making another cruffle. Now this one is a black one, so we're going to put that next to the purple. All right. I had to run out tonight to go to Hobby Lobby. And the craziest thing happened to me in my car. I've never had this happen before. I turned on the air conditioner and it started to sound like it was raining. Like someone was taking a shower, or like someone had opened up a can of soda and stuff was spraying in my car. There was a very dripping wet, not supposed to be there kind of sound. And the higher up I turned my air conditioner, the more I heard it, which was frustrating because I tried to turn down the fan so I could hear what the sound was. But every time I turned it down, the sound went away, which led me to realize it's related to my air conditioner. Turns out there is an evaporator pump and it got clogged. I didn't know it. So I stopped over at my dad's house and we're taking a look at the car and kind of figured it out because it sounded like I was feeling it was like someone was sitting underneath my seat, kicking my seat. And I was like, what the hell is that? I'm like, I literally, when I pulled out of my parking space at Hobby Lobby, I was like, was there someone under my car messing with it? Because it literally felt like someone was kicking me. And it turns out with that pump, my air conditioning vents are below the passenger and the driver's seat. And what was happening was those things got clogged, and it was sending water flying into my car underneath my seat and the passenger seat, because when I looked behind me, the carpeting was soaking wet. And I'm freaking out, and I'm trying to smell it. I'm like, what kind of fluid is this? Is this, radiator stuff? Is it? I have no idea. I don't know colors. Turns out, after sniffing, and I did a little taste test, it was water. So my car was literally flooding from the air conditioning. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. So I'm going to get that fixed tomorrow. But I've never had that happen. I'm glad that's all it is. But it literally sounded like someone was taking a bath, like in my car, and letting the water out. Very, very weird. I did not like that. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend. Okay, I'm trying to go back to live chat here. Here we go. A Touch of Faith. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you are having fun. This is just going to be a nice, simple wreath. Now, this one, like I said before, when I first started the live, I mentioned that this one is not going to have any florals. We're not going to put anything extra in there. This is just going to be a very simple mesh, ribbon, and sign wreath. Because I want to focus on doing something simple. I see a lot of creators do gorgeous, beautiful work, and it's big and elaborate and it's gorgeous, but not everybody wants or has the space on their door for something that is so big and over the top. So that's why I wanted to focus on something smaller. The other reason is that I didn't have any florals that would go with this. But do you like how it looked like I made it like it was intentional? Yeah, it's completely intentional. All the stuff that I've got, I literally did not have any florals that would match this. All right. So you are going to notice little bits of hairs sticking up. I call them chin hairs. These are extra little chin hairs. Okay, so I am going to just trim these off little bits. All right. See, and they go around. I still have, look at how much mesh I have left. I still have this, and this. I've got enough where I could almost put together a second wreath. So I'm going to save this over here. I don't want to push too much in here, okay? I don't want to push too much in here. Here we go. Going back to live chat, sorry. Summer break. Touch of Faith, you're on summer break. That's awesome. My daughter's on summer break until Wednesday, and then she has summer school. Yuck. Okay, so we are looking at a wreath that is now measuring 22 inches. And in terms of depth, we are looking at, they put it at 20. And it's kind of about 5 inches right now, okay? So that's what we have with this. So now I didn't show you the ribbons yet, did I? I did not. You're going to see the ribbons. Here we go. Oh, wait. And again, if you just joined, here's the sign. We're going to be taking it apart and making 3 separate little signs out of it. Mini signs. As in small, not mini as in mouse. Because here, we don't do trademarked items because we don't want to get our shop shut down. So, nothing trademarked. All right, here's where we're going. We have this gorgeous, this is fine glitter on royal. This is a light lavender. Let me take the plastic off so that way there's no shine here. All right. Just get all this off. I just ordered this from Craft Outlet this week. Okay, so look at that. Perfect. Let's compare side by side. We've got the green. We've got a slightly darker purple, which is cool. We've got a little bit of pink in there. We got the black. It's going to look awesome. We got this purple, right? This lighter purple. I have this in a 1.5 inch too to make it for the bow. I have this in a 7/8 for the bow. But the other 1.5 inch, I've used it once already this week. It's gorgeous. And it was very inexpensive. This is Craft Outlet. This was NR 500502. I also have it in 2.5 inch. But look at this. It's almost like a faux leather look. It's shiny and then matte. And it's like, it feels like almost like slightly flocked. with the flowers, but it's really nice. It held its shape really well, and this is like my new favorite ribbon. I love it. But, okay, so I'm going to cut my tails in a minute, but I'm going to make my bow first, okay? I'm not going to use any 4.5-inch ribbon on this bow because I think this might make it a little bit too wide because this is a smaller wreath. I don't necessarily think it can support that much. But, okay. Oh, maybe, hold on. All right, I'm going to use this as the back layer. That ribbon I just showed you in the 1.5, here it is in the 2.5. I'm going to use that. So I'm going to use, just for the bow, I'm going to use 3 2.5-inch ribbons. All right, so this one I'll make a little bit bigger. Ooh. This is some sexy ribbon. I love it. Ooh. It's like 50 shades of wired ribbon. Bad. Ooh. All right. Let's figure out how long do I want my tail to be. Okay. So I'm assuming my bow's gonna, we'll say right here. There's gonna be a sign down there, so I don't want it too far. So I'm gonna still leave enough where I can cut some off the bottom. So we're going with the tail that is 14 inches, and I guarantee I'm gonna cut some off, okay? So we have a 14-inch tail here. Now I'm putting it in my bow maker. Why? Because my hands are awful and they hurt and I've got tendon issues. So I tried to make a bow, my last project, and I held it by hand and I said, no, never again. It was painful. I did it. I did the bow, but it hurt like hell. So we're going to use a bow maker. This is the Easy Bows Design Pro, okay? So when I put this in here, I pinch this, I put it in here, I do a pinch and twist, and then I'm going to face it so I'm seeing the back side of the ribbon, okay? The back side. And then I'm going to pull this and figure how big of a loop do I want. Oh, she's already back gaming and happy again. Thank God. Sorry, my inner mama bear comes out big time when somebody hurts my kid. Like, I get fierce. Probably overly so. Like restraining order way, kind of fierce. Okay, we are going to make this 7 inches on this loop on the left and there. And when I brought it back in here, you see I did kind of a pinch and twist so that now on this side, this is the back, which is kind of hard to tell because it's patterned and the pattern is very similar. Okay, here we go. 7 inches like that, 7 inches like that. And I think I'm trying to debate whether I'm going to do 2 loops or 4 loops. And also, am I going to do tails coming down that way or one tail going down and one tail coming up over the top? I'm debating. I'm thinking of actually doing 2 tails coming down. Yeah, I think I'm going to go that route. All right, now I'm just debating, do I need 2 loops or 4? See, I told you I would plan this out. I mean, I'm going to have... I think I'm just going to do 2. Okay, I think I'm just going to do 2. All right, I'm trying to get away from... I'm trying to branch out and do different styles of things that I haven't done before. I don't want to get stuck in a rut, which has kind of been happening to me lately, but... oh, this is how I usually do it. And I want to try to get away from that because that's not opening my creativity. That's just kind of, I don't know, just recycling. I'm sick of hearing the same stuff. I do the same thing when I say I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to have a salad for dinner. You're lying. You're not. I don't. All right, here we go. So I've got this done. I'm just going to put this behind me for now. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. I just did 2 simple loops and then 2 tails, okay? Now the next one I'm going to go to is the purple glitter, right? Because I don't want to cover up this cute pattern with the solid, right? The most visually interesting, our main pattern needs to be on the top, okay? So I'm going to put this here. And again, I like to dovetail. All right. Going down. Now I'm going to end this one about an inch from that one. So this would be a 13-inch tail. Yep, looks 13 inches to me. All right, pinching and twisting. So on the left here is the back side. It's easier to see now that this is not the glittery side. That is the back. Putting this through. All right. So this is going to be a 6.5-inch loop. Okay. And a 6.5-inch loop. Okay. Bring this down. Now I'm going to measure it compared to the other one and go a little bit longer. Okay, a little bit longer. So that I have enough room that I can dovetail it. And it'll be pretty close to even. There we go. All right. There we go. I haven't yet decided if, well, yeah, I guess I think those will go down. The purple down there, black. Now we're going to go this. I really like this ribbon. I think this is a new pattern for this year because I don't think I've seen it before. But I stay up late at night and I literally just scroll through pages and pages of ribbon. This is what some people do when they're looking at inappropriate things late at night on their phone. That's my version of it. It's just looking at ribbon. Okay, now this one is going to be 6 inches. And then pinch and twist. I'm coming in a 1/2 inch every time I'm adding a new ribbon on. Okay, so that's 6 inches. All right. Bring this down. I'm going to have to order more of this. I really like this ribbon. I like this pattern a lot. And I especially like it because it's got the pink on there. It's funny. I never would have thought pink for Halloween, but it works. It really works. Okay, let me show you where we are at so far. This is what it looks like for so far. Here we go. Now we're going to go into our 1.5. So I'm going to bring out my black 1.5. It's repetitive of that first ribbon. Gorgeous, gorgeous ribbon, you. Whoa, sexy ribbon. Sorry. All right, 1/2 inch up, so that makes it, I think that's like an 11-inch tail. Okay, I'm putting this through. So this is going to be a 5-inch loop and a 5-inch loop. Okay, bringing this down. Okay. Okay. And now, bringing it back again, but in a 1.5. I'm bringing big dots back. Yeah. Sorry. That was not Justin Timberlake's song. Here we go. All right. Pinching and twisting. So this layer was 5 inches. Now this layer I want to try to put in at probably we're going to do 4.5. Is that 4.5? Yep, 4.5. I'm going 4.5. I'm hungry. I don't know why. Here we go. All right. Okay. So let me show you what we have now. Okay. This is that bow. All right. All right. Now I'm going to put in, now I'm not going to make our typical loops. I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut this on an angle. I don't like dovetailing 7/8 because when I cut it, it dovetails. They kind of coming together and it looks like snake fangs. So I don't do that. Okay. I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to make just a simple, just a loop. Okay. And it's about 3 fingers wide. So I can see here, I just stick my 3 fingers in here. It's 3 fingers wide. Okay. Oh, here she comes again. Aria, can you please, just until I'm done, stay off the headset?
No.
Aria,
Everyone started reporting everyone, and then they decided to report me, and then it got banned.
Okay, well, I will deal with that once I am not live. Okay? Yes. But it is a serious issue, I understand, but you know, timing. All right, I'm going to grab a black zip tie. Okay, black zip tie. And a black pipe cleaner. We're going to make our bow here. Oh, here we go. This goes in the back. Poking through. And here we go. Pulling tight. Tight. All right. Nice and tight. Like me trying to buckle my pants. Nice and tight. Okay. All right. Make sure I'm trying to pull this purple glitter one up just a little bit higher. I should have pulled it up higher before I tightened it, but that's all right. Okay. Let's take a look. All right. Bring this in. I don't want to have a tail, a purple tail right next to a loop, right? Want to have all that alternated. Okay. Here we go. Running my fingers down all the wires in the bow. Okay. All right. Here's going to be our bow. It's going to look like this. Nice and cute, okay? But we're not going to do it yet because we need to make our ribbon tails. So I'm going to take, these are going to be the 2 I'm using for the ribbon tails, okay? I'm going to sit down now. I am going to make 14-inch ribbon tails because once I open up those tines and I put them in there, it sucks it in a little bit more. So we want to do that. I'm going to start off by making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to make 12 of each, and then I can cut more. I don't want to cut too much. All right. So we're going to make 6 of these. So this is 14 inches, 6 of them, or 12 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'll even have enough left over to make another bow, which is great. Every time I make a wreath, I always like to make an additional extra bow to go with it in case people want to coordinate and add that on a lantern or a mailbox or, you know, a staircase bow, something like that. But if you've got, I mean, I've used most of the roll. I will have used most of the roll. So that's just what I recommend. Or sometimes if I have just a little bit left, I will make a freebie. Okay. So, and I'll just throw in an extra little bow to give to the client. All right, I'm cutting these. I guess I'll cut 4 at a time. All right, I don't want to cut more than that because this is a little bit thicker. Because I'm going to dovetail. So I've got these all lined up. Okay, these are stacked. Okay, and I just bend it in half, and we're going to cut it like that, and we are going to make dovetail, nice, finished, and it prevents it from fraying. All right, here we go. Sorry, I didn't pre-cut my ribbon tails, but at least I did pre-cut my mesh. Okay, there's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can probably cut that one just 6 and 6, but it's because this is thicker. that I want to make sure I get a nice sharp cut. I don't want to cut too much and then it doesn't look as good on the ends. So, all right. Here we go. I'm really excited about this one. I made a really big, huge one a couple nights ago. Was that Sunday? I think it was on Sunday. Really big one with plaid pumpkins. That was large. That was very large. So it's nice to kind of do something a little bit smaller. It's also hard for me to make something that big all at once because of my back and my hand issues, kind of. So it's nice that I'll be able to get through this one all in one. Here we go. Okay, so this is the last set that I'm dovetailing with the purple. All right. God, that is gorgeous. And I didn't plan this, guys, but look how my manicure matches the purple in the ribbon. Totally an accident, but I love it. All right, that'll go there. Oh gosh, it's like a ribbon graveyard back there. Don't look. Usually as I make things, I like to put a pin back in the ribbon and keep it all nice and organized, but since I'm live, I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 tails at 14 inches long. There we go. All right. All right. Dovetailing. Oh yeah, this one was much easier to cut 6 at once. A lot easier, especially with these blue-handled scissors. These blue-handled scissors come from DecoExchange or MB Craft Supply Co. I do have affiliate links for both of them in the link tree in my profile. If you click linktr.ee, that's all my goodie links to my shop. That is links to my Talk of Tick. That is links to my Tube of You, if you know what I'm saying. Because if I say it, Facebook ain't going to like it. But that's where I've got all my links, my mesh roller. I had a website about my tomato cage trees, and I decided to let it go because it was costing me too much money. So you can still get the download and stuff for that on Etsy. Here we go. All right. Nice. All right, here we go. Let me clean up some of these extra little stray pieces. All right. So now, this is still going to go off to the side. I need to put in, I'm trying to think of this like a clock. I have 12 pieces, so I want to put in 1 at each time. So what I like to do is I put in my 12 o'clock and my 6 o'clock, and then I kind of start working, you know, as that, because I want to make sure that they're as evenly spaced as I can get them. So I'm putting my purple on the bottom and then my print on the top, bend them in half, make a nice crease. That way I can kind of pleat it there like that. And then we're going to go like that. Okay, I like to make it kind of come down into a V shape. And I just find where I have my mesh here, okay? And I'm just going to open it up. I untwist it. I put this right in there, and then I retwist it, right? Okay, so then I ended up with like something like this. So now I need to spread them apart. Okay, so I'm going to go, the bottom comes up, top goes down. Now, because this is a single ring wreath, I'm trying to kind of do the X like this, okay? If this were a double ring wreath, I would do this pattern on the top, and I would do just angled going down in the bottom. Here, I'm going to show you what the bottom one would look like, all right? But I'm trying to make sure I fill in both the bottom and the top, which is why I'm going with, I call it a tall X, okay? As opposed to all right, let me put this one in here. If this were on the bottom, I would simply go like this. Okay? But if I did that here, there would be nothing on the top here. There would be nothing going toward the middle. So I don't want to do that here. What I do is just basically kind of twist it a little more. And there we go. Wait, did I do that? There we go. Just like that. Okay? All right, so now I have my 12 and my 6 o'clock. And then I'm going to do there and there, and then I fill in 2 and 2. So 12 and 6. Now I'm going to do 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. Sorry. I love Happy Days. It was a good show. The Fonz. Hey! Oh, back in the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, this is going to work. This is going to work. 12 was the perfect number. Okay, there's my 3 o'clock. Now I'm going to my 9 o'clock. And I can even open up the little tines before I put the ribbons together because the mesh is, it stays squished in there nicely. It's not going to pop back out. Okay, here we go. This set. And then all we have to do is put on the sign and the bow, and then we'll be done. This is a great style. It's a fun style wreath to do. If you're working with the kid and helping to make a wreath, I think this is one that they could do easily with adult help. Because we're not using any glue. The only thing that would need help is if they are using a staple gun. We get to the point to staple on the pipe cleaners for the sign. That would probably need some help. But as long as they can, and then cutting the mesh and stuff, but really helping them assemble it. I mean, it's just making an X. Okay. So that's where we're at so far. We have 6 of these. No, we have 4 of these. 4 of these. I've got 8 left to go. So now in between each one, I'm going to do 2 of them. Okay, so I've got my 12 o'clock. Now I'm doing my 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. There we go. I can't get over how this matches my nail polish. I think I picked the nail polish color because I had just unpacked the box that this ribbon was in, and maybe it was just on my mind, It was on my mind. You were always on my mind. Okay. And sometimes it might not be exactly at the 1 o'clock position. It might be over a little bit, or, It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's fine. It might be 1:15. It's okay. Okay. See 12, 1, 3. So we're going to put 2 o'clock right here. Alrighty. Grabbing these. This will be fun. Halloween is one of the seasons that sells the best for me. Patriotic has not traditionally been that great of a seller for me. Even though I have a lot of it made. There's a lot of patriotic in my shop. Shop now, sweetheartedecor.com. Yeah, there's a lot of it in there, but it's mainly Halloween and Christmas. I mean, that's my bread and butter. And if you know me, I like my carbs, so that is definitely my bread and butter. All right, making sure these are nice and spread out. Pushing that over that way a little bit. Okay. And then any of these green pieces that you have not used to secure your mesh, or even if you have, you can kind of just tuck it back behind the wreath. So you can just kind of tuck it out of the way, right? Because usually that's kind of what we'll use some other, picks and stuff for. And I do have some black curls. I changed my mind. We might do some black curls in here. It all depends how much we can see after we get the sign on and the bow on. If there's spots that we can see with the little tines, then I don't like to see them. Okay. Do that one and this one. Okay. Here we go. I wish that fan were facing me because I'm sweating like a pig now. Yay, menopause! No. Nobody cheers menopause. There we go. Oh, I am very hot and sweaty. All right. And I do stay, I keep with making sure that my purple one's going to the right on the bottom, and then the polka dots going to the left, and then on the top, it's the opposite. So I'm making sure that I do spread them out the same way every time so that it's got a pattern. Okay. Otherwise, I just feel it looks weird if I don't do that. All right. There we go. Oh, I know these are not the traditional Halloween colors, but I'm kind of liking it. I mean, I'm not a huge orange fan, even though I went to U of I and University of Illinois, our colors are orange and blue, so I'm supposed to like orange. There we go. But this is cool. But I do like the pink and orange. The pink and orange, yeah. Okay. Come on. That way. That way. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm going the right way. I'm confusing myself. All right, so here's a rat so far. Okay, bye. More than halfway done. Okay, it's got 4 more sets to put in. All right. One set's going to go here. And then just the signs and the bow, and we are good to go. Then I can go sit down with a little dessert and watch some TV. It's been a hectic day. Crazy day. I got to have lunch with my cousins today. It was Ladies Who Lunch Day. It was wonderful to see. All my cousins took my mom. We went to a crepe place. I had a salad. Very unlike me, but I had a salad and I liked it. It was good. I also ordered bread. Yeah. Thanks, Moonjaro. My sugar is down, but my weight is going up. There we go. All right. Just a couple more, and then I'm going to trim. I got a little stray hair on the mesh here. I want to trim that. Oh, it just came out by itself. Well, that was easy. The stray chin hairs. All right, 2 more sets of ribbon to put in. You know, this one just, okay, so I'm moving one of these. I'm going to move it over to here. Yeah, it was over too far. There we go. There, and that's going to give me more room to work with now. I like that better. These last 2 are going to be a little too squished, so I just simply moved one of these sets just over to the next piece of mesh. And that looks good. I'm happy. It takes so little to make me happy. Just give me HGTV and a piece of cake. That's all I want. I don't need a man. Well, I need my man, but he's in heaven. So, aside from that, I'll take HGTV and a piece of cake. And wired ribbon. That sexy black ribbon that we used. Oh, I wasn't not sure if it was going to be like the wire was going to be like, or if it was going to be like too thin. But I gotta tell you, I really, really liked that ribbon. All right, and this next one's gonna go right here. I got one last spot for this one to go in. I'm sorry that I don't have a view behind me. I thought this one would be easier if you guys facing me. I'm sorry that you have to look at this. It is what it is. All right. Last one. Then we're going to start putting in the sign. I'm going to take that sign apart. All right. So, as everything overlaps, and this is going to kind of start overlapping toward the middle a little bit more. Just kind of push it down. There we go. But I like it because it kind of like all comes together in the middle. It's cute. I like it. And look, people can be like, oh, look, there's finally a middle to your wreath. Yes, there is. Finally. All right. Whoa! Whoa. Hold on. I just sort of knocked over my can of Coke. All right, we're good. All right, so I'm going to bring my sign over now. I'm going to do a little extra something with my sign and some pieces of cardboard. So, first of all, I'm going to get a bunch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to get a bunch of black pipe cleaners, and then I'm going to get my staple gun. Now, my staples are a little bit longer, so I have to build up the back of these. Okay, so first thing I want to do is take off the price tag because otherwise I'm totally tacky. I'm tacky. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take this. We don't need these 3 pieces together. I'm going to take them apart. So here we go. It's coming apart. All right. I'm going to save this white bead though. Like, I save everything. I'm going to save the bead. I'm just trimming it. There we go. Okay, so one of them is free. I'm trying to get it as close to these staples as possible because I don't really want to see any of this jute rope coming out the back. Okay. There we go. Oh, well, that was easy. Oh no! One of the beads went flying. That's all right. All right. Comes out. All right, I'm going to save that. Okay, so now I've got... All right. So I've got our 3 little signs. Eek, fly away, and stay creepy. Now, because these 2 have a black base, I'm going to put them on either side. Okay. And then I'll put this little guy down at the bottom. Okay. I don't like, this is a little too floofy on there. You know what? I'm going to take every other one and I'm going to go do a set of up and down tails. So hold on a second. Okay. That stayed up and down. So then these will come this way. I'm alternating. Okay. So I'm going to do one is the tall X and one as the short wide X because I think it was bunching up a little too much in the center and it was looking a little weird. It was looking weird, guys. So I'll hold the wreath back up in just a second after I fix it and show you what I did. But again, it's totally a preference. You may like to have all that in the middle. Okay. I think this is going to be a little bit better. Yeah, it's not quite so floofy in the middle then, okay? See how we did? There's up and down, and then this kind of came down to the sides, and that kind of came down to the sides. So up and down, all the way down. Up and down, all the way down. So I alternated that. So I apologize. Learn something new every day. All right, so now I'm going to go staple these onto here. Now I do have to have my cardboard. So these are 1-inch square cardboard pieces. I use the cardboard tube that the mesh came in, and I just cut it into strips. And that's how I use it. But I'm basically just going to staple on either side. Okay. Oh, that was loud. That kind of hurt my ears. That was weird. All right, perfect. None of those came through. All right. You have to cut another strip. We'll cut some more of these. 1, 2, 3. And let's cut a strip here. So just like 1-inch squares, that's all. All right, that should do it. All right. The other thing I like to do is, because that tube is rounded, I like to push the cardboard flat before I try to stick one on there. But you can also end up using the cable tie mounts. That method where you use E6000 on the cable tie mount, and then you go around it with hot glue. That works as well. I just like to use pipe cleaners and staple guns where I can. All right, and then here we go, our stay creepy. I plan to. Being creepy is kind of my vibe. And gross and dirty. That's, yeah. That's my thing. All right. So they're kind of going about 1/2 inch from the outside. There we go. This is going to be pretty. Yay, I didn't run out of staples this time. Woohoo! Score! All right. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting my bat, because he's going to be down at the very bottom, 6 o'clock position. So, yep, I'm going to put him right here. I am going to take these pipe cleaners between the mesh ruffles, okay? I'm trying not, I don't want to pierce these things, okay? So I'm literally just, I'm going to secure this one temporarily. I'm just making the 2 pipe cleaners meet behind the wreath and twisting it a couple times. And then go back and do the same thing again on the other side. And then I will adjust it, you know, up and down, whatnot. I just want to make sure it gets in here. Okay. Wrapping it around itself. All right, so let's see. I like that. I do, because this can come around that way. This can come around that way. All right, so here we have our eek. So what it looks like on the back is, I just have pipe cleaners. I wrapped together. Wrap these in here, and then when I'm done twisting these all together, I just push it right back into here. Okay? That way it's hidden, and there we go. If I ever need to move it, I can do that. Now I'm going to look at this. Now this is my 6 o'clock position. I'm going to put, I got this at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So Mr. Stay Creepy, we're going to put that at 9 o'clock. He wants to be creepy at 9 o'clock. Okay. Oh, I should have. All right, I should have gone up and down this way with this, but what I can do is make them meet this way and this way on the sign, so I can still get it on there. It's just a little different, but that's okay. That's no big deal. All right. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the bow on because I want to make sure that nothing's going to get in the way. All right, so I'm just wrapping this pipe cleaner between the mesh. I'm not piercing the mesh. I'm going right through the ruffles, and I'm going one around the bottom of the ring, one around the top. Okay, so you can see I came back here, top and bottom. Ooh. And I'm just going to tighten this. Using one single pipe cleaner was definitely enough. I didn't have any struggles making the ends meet at all. All right. Pop this in here. All right, I'm going to straighten my bow out. And then I will probably maybe adjust the length on some of these shortly. All right. So then I can figure out where I want this guy to go. Right here. Okay. So let's bring he's got to go over a little bit. Up that way. Just a straddling the side. Here we go. Eek. Trying to get my fingers to wrap around there. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Sometimes my fingers don't work. I also burnt my finger earlier, so it's a little painful. All right. These two. Trying to be aware of where my ribbon placement is, so I don't want to get any ribbons stuck underneath the sign. I still want them to be able to move freely, so I can pull them on either side, or like so I can kind of tuck out. Okay, I'm going to adjust the top one just a little bit here. There we go. Needs to come up just a little more. There, I'm just going to have it go over that ruffle that was kind of right on top there, just to kind of give it a bit more something to hold on to, you know? Why is that not working? There we go. That's better. Much better. Sometimes it just takes a little finessing and a little finagling. All right. And I just continue wrapping the pipe cleaners together so it makes one solid piece. And then sometimes if I've got a lot left, I trim it off. All right, because I want it to be even. And I just poke it, turn around, poke it right back into the wreath. Oh, that sucks. Linda, what did you do? No, 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 no. This does not look good. No, 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 no. Undo. Control Alt Z. Control Z. Undo. It went up too high, and it's also on an angle, which is fine. That's why nothing's glued in. If it's all wired in, I can just undo it, and it's NBD. No big deal. Except I can't undo these. I twisted them so hard I can't undo it. Come on. Untwist. Untwist. Let's go. I'm using my burnt finger. That hurt. Yeah, I went up too high. All right. Here we go. All right. Poke it in. And poke it in. All right, that's a lot better. Oh my God, so much better. So much better, girl. Yes, 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 yes. All right, and then we're going to go to the other side. Again, why is it... Girl, you need to just... There. Twist it toward you. I might end up securing that with a little hot glue later. I just don't want it to twist later. Okay, now Stay Creepy. Stay Creepy is going to be here. This is going to be the difficult one because I got to make sure it's exactly even with the other one on that side. All right. So... hand through on the bottom, grab that one. It would have made it easier if I had done the pipe cleaners and facing the different direction because I think that's what's causing the issues. The issues. That's all right. I think we got it. I think we're good. All right. And now this one's gonna go over the top. All right. Let's not drop the scissors on your foot again. And once is enough per day. Thank you. Okay. All right. So you hold this up, looking at it. Okay. I am going to start trimming. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I can take the two matching ribbon tails and put them together. Nope, even. I got it. Because I want to make sure that the bottom ones poke out too. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. A little higher on this one. Whee! And then I think I might actually grab a couple little black curls that I've got and put them in here. Okay, the 1.5s are good. The 1.5 inches are good. Those are good. Good length. All right, I'm just gonna grab a couple things. Rock to the side here. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, got these curls. What do I have? This one, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think I'm going to use these. These came from Dollar Tree. Okay, these came from Dollar Tree. But they're just these little cute little curls. They have ones too that came that were mesh like this. They're kind of more see-through. And these are good too, but I think these are a little bit more substantial and sturdy for what I want. But like for being a Dollar Tree pick, I'm really impressed. The quality is pretty good. Pretty good. All right, I'm gonna cut off the stick a little bit. So I've got about 4 inches left here. So what I want to do is I'm trying to cover these spots like here and here. And then maybe like above and below a little bit on our little friend. There we go. Let's see, but I definitely want to do at least there and there. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. Now what I'm going to try to do is, there's a lot of green here, so I'm going to try to tuck as much as I can in and under so that I don't see too much. But I want to leave one of these sets out because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little glue, but then I'm going to twist this. I'm actually going to go the other way. So then we don't see it so much. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a little bit of glue. Not too far up because I don't want to burn myself. You know me, you know my penchant for burning myself. I subconsciously wonder if I'm doing it on purpose. Like, do I like pain? I don't know. But I'm twisting the black thing around it. There we go. That way. There we go. Okay, so I got one in there. I'm going to put one in probably right here too. My dog is playing with her bowl because she finished all of her food and now she's being really annoying making that sound. All right. That'll be about 3 inches off. That's good. All right. There we go. Sometimes they have to be recurled a little bit, and that's okay. It's not bad. There we go. This one I might end up having to go. Oh hell, I don't even know. It's kind of like that way with it. All right, but I'm gonna twist it around there, and then kind of push this in a little further, and that way, so that goes behind there. We don't want to see that. And here we go. Then the black kind of covers most of this green. Push that in there. All right, so I got that. I got that. Why is that? That needs to be up there. Nah, no, I know why it came down, because I got other stuff down there I was trying to hide. All right, and I think then eek and eek. It's going that way. And I think, let me just slip one in here. So here's what it kind of looks like right now at the bottom. See right on either side of eek. You can also maybe put one kind of like right up here. Probably. All right. All right. Now making sure I've got my set of tines. Okay, there we go. I know exactly where I'm going to put it. I'm going to add my glue. Go right in there. There we go. Then I can kind of pull these out a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm going to scooch it around. We're going to add one more above this guy. Our Stay Creepy. All All right, our last one here. I don't know why I took the tag off. I'm cutting it off anyway. There we go. What a mess. Okay. Whew. All right, those are done. These can go off to the side. Okay, I'm going to go down with that. Sometimes I'll even put it in there just kind of like what I call a dry fit, just to make sure it's going to go where I want it to before I put the glue and stuff on there. There we go. Hold on. This one got a little squished, so I got to rewrap it around my finger or something. Here we go. All right. Looking good. Okay, I think this is gonna be it. I think we're good. So here it is. I'm gonna add. I like to hang these with a big, thick, green zip tie. It helps me store it, and then people can decide to use that. They can put that right through their wreath holder on their door too. Okay, so let me make sure I like this. I think I want to pull the bow down a little bit. Yeah, I want to rotate the bow downward a little bit. And do a final fluffing. Make sure my layers of my ribbons on the bow are all good. I think they are. Black, and then purple, and then that, and then black, and then bring these in. All right. All right, here we go. So we did end up using a little set of curls, which is not a huge deal. Just a little bit, but you can also put in florals if you want, whatever you want to do. But here is our finished product. Here is our wreath. This is our cute little Walmart sign. This was 3 pieces. We separated it out. We used a 16-inch single ring evergreen wreath. We used some leftover mesh, 10 inches. I used a full roll of 18-inch, and then I think, no, not even a full roll. So, I mean, if you had 1 roll of 18-inch mesh, I think you could end up making a wreath with it for sure. But this is about, I'd say, 6 inches tall completed, 22 inches wide. And here we go. This is going to be listed at sweetariadecor.com. You can find this and a whole bunch of other stuff over there at my website. I'll have that there. And these videos get backed up to my Tube of You channel because everything gets wiped off of Facebook after about, I think, 30 days now. So that's where everything gets backed up. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you spending your Wednesday evening with me. And do me a favor. Go treat yourself to something a little sweet right now, my sweeties, okay? Go have a little treat for me, and I will see you guys Monday at noon Central for Monday Craft Afternoon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me all over social media, and you can shop my store at sweetariadecor.com.